can't watch anything on TV without seeing the occult. Super Bowl halftime show is occultic as hell. Even the games are rigged for certain numbers. That's been brought out and exposed. I remember looking at the New York Giants, how they've won 4 Super Bowls, and each one of those Super Bowls were 4 years apart. Because they won their first one in 1986. They won their second one in 1990. They won their third one in 2008. Right, because it was the 2007-2008 season. So it was the 2007 season, but they won the Super Bowl in February of 2008, right? Because that's when the season ends. And their next Super Bowl was in February of 2012, right? And of course, it was the 2011 season, but the Super Bowl was in 2012. And both of those years were leap years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, both of those years were leap years. All right. Now, I did a breakdown some years ago about the Baltimore Ravens. And I thought about something. The Ravens won the Super Bowl. It was the 2000 season, but the Super Bowl was won in February of 2001, right? They won their championship February 2001. Now check this out. The Ravens, right, represent what? Ravens fly. And then you have the New York Giants. And what were the Giants? What was Giants in New York? What in New York were Giants? The Towers, right? So you have the Ravens defeating the Giants in 2001, right? In 2001. It's just something to think about. You know, maybe I'm overreaching it, but that's what I do this show for. That's what the Deja Vu podcast, Deja Vu 3530, that's what it's for. You know, just throw things out there. But isn't that interesting? That the Baltimore Ravens, go back and fact check me, the Baltimore Ravens, which a raven flies, they even have a unit in the Air Force called the Ravens, right? The Ravens crashed the Giants. I thought that was interesting. And then the next year, who won the Super Bowl? The New England Patriots. And the Patriots won the Super Bowl the year of the Towers attack, right? The year of the attack. September, right? That year. It was the 2001 season going into 2002. So they won the championship in 2002. And that was the year that they cheated and helped Brady with the tuck rule in Oakland, right? Because they wanted the Patriots to win that Super Bowl. And what happened later on? George W. Bush passed the Patriot Act. Isn't that interesting? Right? And the Patriots dominated from 2001 up till, what year was that? Maybe in 2010. I can't remember when they won their last Super Bowl. But Brady won 6 championships with the Patriots. And there's that number 6. There's that number 6 for you. He won 6 rings. So that made him the GOAT. When he won that 6th ring, that made him the GOAT. So the Patriots have 6 championships. 6 of them. Pittsburgh Steelers have 6 as well. But yeah, Brady has 6 championships, or with the Patriots, excuse me. He has 7 total because he won. And that's another thing. He left the Patriots and went to the Buccaneers, which are known to be, a type of a pirate or something? You know, the thieves. So you have that symbolism. You have that symbolism there, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But even when you look at like the Chicago Bulls dynasty, all right, you have Michael Jordan, number 23. You had Jim Carrey in that movie 23. We kept seeing the number 23 everywhere, right? Yeah, Michael Jordan with the number 23, playing for the Chicago Bulls. Think Bull, think about, was it Moloch or the golden calf? Or, you have the bull, you have Baal, bull, Baal, same thing. Baal, bull, right? Goat horns, right? Michael Jordan is the goat. All right? Baphomet. You have all that symbolism. And what colors did the Chicago Bulls wear? Black and red. White and red being the colors of the Rosicrucians, Knights of the Rosary Cross. All right, you have the black and red. You know that's satanic as hell. You know, you don't get more satanic than black and red, right? And then so you have number 23. Who ends up winning 6 championships, 3. He three-peated twice. He won his first 3 up till, 1994, right? Because the Houston Rockets won 2, because Michael Jordan retired temporarily after his father died. There's questions around that. Then he comes back and wins, because he three-peated, right? Before he quit, before he retired and went to go play baseball, right? I think he played baseball in the minor leagues for the the Birmingham Barons. All right. Then he comes back and beats the Seattle Supersonics on Father's Day to win his 4th NBA championship, in which he was crying on the floor. You can look that up if you think I'm lying. So his father died, right? His father gets murdered. He comes back a couple of years after his father's murder and wins the NBA Finals on Father's Day. I believe it was right on Father's Day. If not, it was like right there. Which they played the finals in that month anyway. So, but that was strange. But then he goes on to win another 3. Right? So you got your 6. You have your number 23, greatest player of all time. He's the GOAT. He's the Baal. Right? He's the bull, the Baphomet. Right? Number 23. You can't make this up. Number 23 in black and red, playing for the Chicago Bulls, the Bell, the GOAT, winning 6 championships, and then he retires. And then he retires, but he comes back in like the early 2000s. Was it 2001-ish when he came back? And who did he go play for? The Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards. Now, you know what a wizard is, right? You know, you can't get more occultic than this. These aren't coincidences. These are not coincidences. This is time. This is planned. Even these sacrifices, they're all timed. They're all planned. You can't get any crazier than that. This is the world you live in. You live in a false reality. And I've been saying it for the longest time. People are MK Ultra. They undermine, I say a light version, very light version of it, to the point where they don't even realize it. You know, there's a reason why people react the way they do when you hit them with the truth. You have to be careful. You have to be real careful, because what may seem like it's not that big of a deal, something that's, just regular information for you, if you deliver it to someone and they're not ready for it, it could shock their system. It could shock their system. I remember I shocked this woman, co-worker of mine, many years ago. It was like back in 2010. I said the littlest thing to her, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but it shocked her system, because she had never heard anyone say it before. I said something along the lines of, what did I say to her? I said, she was talking about the presidents and president of the United States and this, that, and the third. And because, but around that time, Obama was a big deal, and you had all these black people running around, Obama. And she wasn't an Obama fan, neither was I. I never liked him from the beginning. I looked right through him. But anyways, I said to her, he's not in power. True power never reveals themselves. The true power always hiding in the shadows, in the background. True power never shows their face. That was what I said to her. That shocked her system. That was nothing for me. That's common knowledge for me and people like me, people like you. That's common knowledge. But for other people, the normies, just trying to process that could mess their system up. Like, what do you mean he's not in power? Because in their mind, the president of the United States is the most powerful man in the world. And when you hit them with the reality that there are people in the background that are puppeting the president and telling them what to do, and that he works for special interest groups, and that, they could probably comprehend the idea that they have big money donors and they have to pay them back by, by policies and different regulations or whatever. They can understand that. But they can't understand that a lot of these presidents are groomed from the time that they're born. They have a hard time with that reality. They have a hard time with that thought. Like, that messes their head up. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And you're like, oh, they're just a puppet, They're owned. They're like, what? No. Yeah. They have a hard time with that. It's just like a lot of them are going to have a hard time finding out the truth about the pandemic. That's going to shock the system of a lot of people. And I've heard other people say this, and I kind of dismissed it, but I'm realizing now how true it is. When the truth comes out about what really happened, there are going to be a lot of pissed off people. I did not agree with that statement in the beginning when I first heard that. When I heard people say people are going to be angry when they find out the truth. And the reason why it didn't connect with me, or I didn't understand why people would lose it, is because I'm thinking about myself. And, I've known the truth about the government, about the 3-letter agencies and everything since, 2005. Okay. Military personnel told me, woo, 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 woo. And, my last year in the military, in the Air Force, I got, the spill. So a person like me will have a hard time understanding what it's like to be a normie. It's been so long since I was a normie. I get bored with, breaking news. I'm talking about hardcore, real information. I'm just like, oh yeah, I've already heard it. I know these things. But imagine someone who's still under that spell. Someone that really believes that the government would never do something like that. Or the World Health Organization wouldn't deceive them, or the CDC wouldn't lie to them, or these scientists wouldn't get on television and regurgitate bullshit. Excuse my language. Imagine. And then all of a sudden it comes out what's really in the shot, right? What's really in it. And then they have to face the reality that they put this poison in them. And they're going to have to really come to that realization. Because it's one thing for me to tell them. It's another thing for that to come to a reality. Because, years from now, they're going to be rolling out commercials saying, if you've taken the shot for the virus of the 2020, I'm speaking in code. If you've taken that, you may be compensated. If you suffer this kind of illness and that kind of, kidney failure and cancer and this and the third, different things, right? There's going to come a day when that will become a reality. And these people might flip. They might flip out. They might flip out for real. Because you got to remember, a lot of these people are weak-minded anyway. There's a reason why they were able to be fooled. There's a reason for that. And the reason is because they are under MK Ultra, a light version. I have to remind people, because people get at me sometimes and say, what do you talk about people on MK Ultra? That sounds crazy. No. I'm not talking about hardcore, like Kanye. Like Kanye looks like he's bugged out. If you looked in his eyes, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, they say he's bipolar, but to me, he looks like something is going on, like he's under something, or some kind of MK Ultra. There's something going on there. And I'm not even saying he's crazy. Because it could be a situation where Kanye's trying to break out of that. Like they put something on him, because I think he's intelligent. I think he's smart as hell. But I think that they did something to him. I do believe that. I'm not buying the whole bipolar thing. He could very well suffer from bipolar, but I think it's in other words, see, I followed Kanye his whole career. Okay? So I'm not somebody that just heard about Kanye after he started supporting Trump, because that's a lot of people are just now finding out about Kanye. I remember Kanye when Kanye was a producer from Chicago. I remember that Kanye. Like, you go back to 2004, and his eyes did not look like that. His eyes did not look like that at all. He was bipolar back then. Even when he flipped out and said George Bush doesn't care about black people, his eyes didn't look the way they look now. And the eyes are the window to the soul. The eyes tell you everything you need to know. So there's something going on there. And they have him on something, or he's under some kind of mind control. Something's going on. So anyway, I got lost in my thought, talking about Kanye, but there's a lot of people that are, it's truth is coming out about Britney Spears. She's speaking out about how she's being controlled. And, the world is waking up. And that's one thing I can't say. And I'm not a 17er. You know, I say that all the time as you know, it's not a cop out, but I'm not a 17er, but I do look at everything. And you hear all this talk about the Great Awakening, the Great Awakening. What do they say? It had to be this way. All right, cool. And I'm very pessimistic. I'll tell you right now, I'll black pill the hell out of you. I will not lie to you. I'm one of those people. If you haven't figured that out, but at the same time, I'm conflicted on a lot of things. I'll tell you one. Number one, Trump. And I need to do a whole show dedicated to my thoughts and opinion on Trump 17. I've been wanting to do it. I don't even know how to compound it all. Because there's so much information about the 17 and the storm and, you know, this is the calm before the storm. What do you mean, Mr. President? You'll find out. Right? And there's a lot of questioning behind that. What did he mean? What did he mean? Really? Because people say, well, the storm is, you know, let's go back to the movie White Squall. And, you know, it's a sudden when, again, I'm not saying that this is what I believe. I'm saying there's different people with different opinions on it. I'm just giving you one of those opinions that people have, that it's a sudden wind, sudden storm that just comes up out of nowhere with no black clouds. And, that's what's coming. And all these people are going to jail. And there's been a white hat plan for years in the making. Some people say it goes back to, I've heard it goes back to, I'm trying to think what year it was. I've heard 2012. I've heard 2001. I've heard people say as soon as the towers went down. I've heard people say before then, because, you know, Trump wrote in the book about there being an attack on the towers. He wrote that in the book, supposedly. It is his book, but I say supposedly because you don't know. Is he controlled opposition? Is someone writing this for him? Is he a part of a big script? We don't know. You don't know. And that's the point of Trump. Everything is a mystery. And I did do an episode once on the movie Batman, the one that came out earlier, 2022, where you had the Riddler who created, I would say thousands of different Riddlers because they all were following him. In other words, he was leaving clues and these people were trusting the plan. Right? He had this plan, this glorious plan. And he was disappointed when Batman went to go visit him in prison and Batman didn't co-sign or give him his stamp of approval for what he was doing. And I was with this girl, I was with this chick that I was talking to at the time. But he had this, the symbolism of the question mark. It looked like the Q. You know, just the way that it was formed. And I looked at the movie and I said, ooh, I'm in a theater and like I said, I'm with this chick and she's all into the movie and she's asking me, like, oh, you know how women can be. And I'm looking and I'm thinking something else because I see something she's not seeing. And because, like I said, I look at the drops and I look at everything else. And I'm looking and I'm going, okay, this is very 17-ish. Why? Because didn't Trump say that he was Batman? Did he or did he not say that he was Batman? And it just reminded me, like, the Riddler reminds me of the boards. You got the question marks, and doesn't 17 always ask you these questions? Right? Doesn't the Riddler ask you all these questions? Don't he lead you on a wild goose chase? So you got this storm that's supposed to come. This is the calm before the storm. What do you mean, Mr. Trump? What do you mean, Mr. President? You'll find out. Y'all find out. And then he's supposedly sued by this adult actress, porn star Stormy Daniels. Right? And then you had the storming of the Capitol. And that's all they've been talking about for the past year and a half, going on 2 years now. The storming of the Capitol, and it was on January the 6th. And if you flip that 6 upside down, what do you get? All right, you get a 9. You see where I'm going with this. Right? You see where I'm going with this. 2021. So anyway, 10 years. Anyway, even though it's not September, it's still, just something I'm looking at. So you have Trump in 17 with the generals? I believe it was 17. Been a while since I looked at this stuff. He's standing around. He says, you guys know what this is? You know what this represents? This right here. And I still chuckle. I'm not going to lie. Whenever I do see it, because sometimes I'll look at it and people will play it and doing their videos. I watch everyone's videos. And whenever they show that, Trump standing there with these generals saying, you guys know what this is? It's calm before the storm. And I get a chuckle out of it because he's a troll, and I'm a troll too. I'm a Gemini like him, right? I'm a Gemini like him, so I get the trolling, right? Which is the problem with us Geminis is that we can literally put on two faces. That's why he's so difficult to read. And I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying he's definitely wearing two faces on purpose. But you don't know where this is leading to. That's the problem. You would hope that he's been trolling the deep state, because the ultimate troll, I hate to admit it, the ultimate troll would be for him to have trolled his supporters the whole time. You knew damn well I was a snake when you let me in. Yeah. I just think it's interesting, I think it's pretty damn interesting. Stormy Daniels, storming of the Capitol, right? You had, when he first got in office, you had a storm. What was it, in Puerto Rico? If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Puerto Rico. Operation Warp Speed sounds kind of stormy to me. That sounds kind of stormy to me. Then you had the text Trump 88022, and then he gets raided on August the 8th, 2022. Right? And somebody posted something. You had the 8s, right? Prime Minister of Japan, I believe he was murdered on July 8th. Trump was raided on August 8th. Queen Elizabeth died September 8th, if I'm not mistaken, or at least that's when they announced her dead. You had the bombing of the bridge in Russia. I believe that was October 7th, right? So one day, that might have been it. Who knows? But that's interesting. Something. Then you got the midterm elections on November 8th. A lot of strange things going on. A lot of strange things, man. Some very interesting times that we're living in. The beauty of it is, even though I don't know who's really in control, and a lot of people like to pretend like they know, I'm going to tell you I don't know, because there's certain things I just can't get over. I can't get over Operation Warp Speed. And I understand the argument is that was done to make them speed up the process. And that might be true, because people saying, well, they had these jabs, these shots already formulated, and he just made them push it out faster so we can get the economy back up. That may be true. It may be true. I don't know. But it's just some things to think about. He called himself Batman. He gets up, during his speech at his inauguration, he says, I'm giving power back to you, the people. Right? So, is he Batman or is he Bane? Right? Is the letter 17 thing, is that the Riddler? What's going on here? Just questions, man. I know people are going to get pissed. Oh, man, what the fuck? I'm just asking a question. And you look at the Damian Thorne. Don't even get me started on that. The mirror of Damian Thorne and Trump. If you've ever looked at those videos, if you haven't, just do it. Trust me. It's weird. That's all I'm saying. It's weird. Now, could it be that he was set up to be something and then he flipped on them? Could be. It happens. It happens in every mafia. Someone always turns on the Don. That always happens. Speaking of Don, his name is Don. Oh, God. Anyway, it never stops. Right? It never stops. But I just find things interesting, and it's just things to look at, and, I'm just asking questions. There's a lot of occult symbolism. The MAGA hat, MAGA being the 5th degree, highest order of the Satanic Church. I'm going off on a rant here, and sorry for that, but, it's blood red. I don't know, man. I don't know. You had Ben Carson saying there's 2 Trumps. You had Dick Gregory saying there's 2 Trumps. You had the red tie and the one with the blue tie. And what did I talk about earlier? The red and the blue. The red and the blue, right? It's just a lot of things. He's being down there in Mar-a-Lago. And who was this? I cannot remember. I want to give credit to this person. Damn it. Because I'm going off on a rant. I don't have any notes. Someone brought out what Mar-a-Lago means, and I believe it means sea by the lake, the sea by the lake. And they were saying that the sea by the lake means the sea by the lake of fire, right? Something like that, something along those lines. I can't remember who that was. And I'm sure somebody that listens could probably tell me. I cannot remember. But these are just thoughts. This doesn't mean anything. It's just something that I'm thinking about. And one day, if I get a chance, I'm going to do a full episode on the different Trump tie-ins. I mean, because you can get real deep into the, even with the Baron Trump and the last president and all that stuff. John Titter and what's the other one? So many theories, man. You got the Back to the Future and the 88. When this thing hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit, right? Back to the Future. And they're saying that, oh, that's Trump. Trump is 88. If you add his number up, it equals 88. So I'm into the symbolism, because I learned a long time ago, these people speak in code. They speak with their hands. They speak with colors. That's how they speak. That's the way that they speak. The reason why the Lakers, the purple and gold, they're always winning the championship. And supposedly the lake represents the lake of fire. That's why you have the sea by the lake. Mar-a-Lago, sea by the lake. And then he's supposed to get cast into the lake of fire, the bottomless pit, Florida, way down there deep in Florida, the bottomless pit. The symbolism. I'm not saying that it is that. Please. I'm talking about the symbolism that people are pointing out. Florida, Mar-a-Lago, you have the sea by the bottomless pit, the lake of fire. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting, man. I thought that these things were something to really look at. And then you look at the Space Force logo, you look at his name being on the temple coin. You have these people calling him the Messiah, and I even hate saying that, but that's true. These things are really happening. These are just things that I've observed. And like I said, I've observed some good things, and then I've observed some really suspicious, spooky, occultic looking things, like with the hand symbolism, always holding up that yoni, and doing the divine feminine triangle upside down, always, when he sit down. And someone made a theory in this, I don't know, and saying that maybe he could be using a different kind of magic, white magic or whatever they call it, which I believe all of this is bullshit. Excuse my language again, but that's just the way I feel. So black magic, white magic, I feel like it's all, but maybe he could believe in that stuff and maybe he's using it against them. Who knows? Who knows? He may actually believe that. I don't know. I'm not inside his mind. I'm not inside his mind. I thought it was strange that he called the pop shot his blood. He said he's the father of it and that it is his blood. I mean, am I the only one that's seeing this? Am I the only one that's seeing this? Anyway, I'm not the only one that's seeing this, but I mean, damn, how many coincidences are too many? Before you have to question it. What is really going on here? And what's coming next? What's coming next? Again, the white magic, the black magic, 17, the letter 17 is always, or people that support, I should say the people that support it, always talking about out of the darkness into the light, right? Lucifer, the light bearer. And they say that Lucifer or Satan can become an angel or make himself appear to be an angel of light. I don't know. It's very interesting. Again, you got the chessboard, the black and the white Masonic chessboard, symbolism. The black hats versus the white hats. I need to get my notes because I'm just rambling. But these are just things that I'm spitting off of the top of my head. That go to show you how many coincidences there are. That I could just sit here and just with no notes and just boom, right? What I need to do is show focused and dedicated to that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Things look very, I got a feeling something is coming. Something big is coming. Something very big is coming. And we better hope, or at least consider, I'll say this, we better consider that it may not go where a lot of people think it's going to go. Right? It may not go the way a lot of people think it's going to go. And there's an old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, that's shame on me. But George W. Bush said, if you get fooled, you can't get fooled again. Right? You get fooled once, you can't get fooled again. A lot of people are looking like they might get fooled again. Because this time is very short. These people are moving very fast towards this CBDC. And I warned people about the crypto, and I'm not about to go into that whole thing. But I warned people that they were just setting that thing up to bring it down so that they could implement their own version, a monitored, centralized version. And here we are. Now they're coming out with this, what is it called? The Fed, what is it? Damn it. It's called the Fed something. Fed Pay? I think it's called something like that. Fed Pay or something. But anyway, Fed Pay, Fed app. Damn, no notes. But anyways, yeah, you have to consider the thought that at some point, these people are going to pull the trigger and they're going to go full blast. I've been talking about the fake alien invasion. These are things that you can look for me to talk about in this show in the near future. I talked about it before. I'm going to go over it again. The transhumanistic agenda and what the LGBTQ promotion, propaganda, what that's really all about. It's about accepting these humanoids that they've created. Their AIs become self-aware, I think they even said they can make their own babies. So that's where we are in the world. That's just something to think about. Robot dogs. In Oakland, they were talking about not robot dogs, robot police with shotguns strapped to them. This is what they're talking about. They're making the excuse that they have a police shortage. Now they ran the whole defund the police angle, and now they're saying they have a police shortage. And what is their solution to that? Oh, in the near future, we may have to look at robot police and put shotguns on them. Shotguns. Not even guns, shotguns. You imagine? I mean, this is where we are, folks. This is where we are. Just a lot to think about. And anyways, I went long. I didn't intend to. I ran it with no notes. I didn't intend to. This wasn't really even much of a show. It was really me just spitting, spitballing, throwing things out there, letting it off my chest. And that's the beauty of Deja Vu 3530. And I'm going to go. Thank you for listening. I'm just throwing things out there today. No real news or anything to really get into. Just some of my thoughts. But until next